Last question, question number 17. Again, it's asking us to find an inverse function and state the domain. So I know we already did this, but one more time if you want to practice. You take your original equation, and this time that is f of x, or I just put y, is equal to the square root of x minus 4. We switch the x and the y, so we're going to have x here, we're going to have x is equal to y, the square root of y minus 4. And then we're going to solve for y again. So we're going to square both sides to get rid of that square root, right? So we're squaring x, and we're squaring the square root of y minus 4, which just leaves us with y minus 4 on one side. I went ahead and just flipped them around so that my y was on the side I like to solve with, equals x squared. And then I just added 4 to both sides, so I get y equals x squared minus 4. You need to keep, here's what's important about the domain. You need to keep the restrictions on the original domain. So because, let's go back up to this original equation, y equals the square root of x minus 4, x may not be positive 4, or it can be positive 4, it may not be smaller than positive 4, so we have to have the bracket here. It can be 4, it cannot be smaller, or else it'll make the original equation not work, and that's what we need to put in our domain, because obviously the domain for this last equation is all real numbers. But since it's not the equation we're looking at, it's at the inverse, we still keep the domain of the first up to positive infinity. So I feel like this is where some of you might get some points off your test, is not realizing that you need to look at the original equation here when you're trying to find your domain of the inverse.